Good morning everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. It is Tuesday the 13th of December 2022 and tonight we're heading down to Nottingham. It is Notts County versus Gateshead in the National League. Now I know normally for evening games I'd do the intro in the afternoon, but the trains are on strike today, so it is mega buses and National Expresses down there, so a lot of travelling to do. But without further ado, let's get into this. So here I'm in Nottingham. Originally I was going to have to basically travel back through the night, but fortunately for me I still had some holidays left, so I've taken them and I'm able to put my head down here overnight. When I get to my hotel I will do the preview for the match. So just in my hotel room for the night. First things first, what has to be said is big ups to the ground staff at Meadow Lane for getting this game on tonight. I mean, you look around the country tonight, like the vast majority of games are on, yet this one has got the go ahead. They put the covers down way in advance and things like that. They were well prepared for all of the recent weather, so you've got to give them massive respect to that, and as well to Notts as a club, who've communicated absolutely superbly over the last couple of days or so. Obviously, they'll have received a lot of questions as to whether this game was going to be going ahead or not, which people are perfectly entitled to do. They've spent money on tickets and travel and what have you. They've a right to know the game's chances of going ahead. So, big, massive respect to Notts for that. And going into the game tonight, Notts are currently top of the National League table and can go 4 points clear with a win. As for us, we are currently 23rd place, second bottom, 4 points off of safety, so it just shows you exactly what we're up against tonight. And of course there is the law of the X factor in this game. Obviously you've got not just Macaulay Langstaff but Kedwin Scott as well playing for Notts, and yeah, I'm sure they'll both get a pretty good reception off of the Gateshead fans tonight. Both still held in very high regard, and it wasn't as if they snaked their way out of the club or anything like that. They were both left on fairly good terms. Notts just happened to activate clauses within the contracts and there was basically nothing we could have done about it from that point. So good luck to both after tonight's game. I mean, personally, I would quite like to see Notts get promoted for them more than anything. But yeah, I think I'm just going to take tonight's game with a bit of a pinch of salt, to be honest with you. I just think it's one of those, our season's not going to be judged on what we do down here. But the good thing, I guess you could say, is we're not even 50% of the way through our season yet. And after tonight, we'll have played Notts twice and we'll have been away to Chesterfield and Wrexham. So being in that sort of position can hopefully only be a good thing. But I think, if anything, I think we need to be nastier, if I'm totally honest. I think when we came up, I thought to myself, right, we're going to, if the team's going to want to beat us, they're going to have to play well. But unfortunately, I think we're just maybe making things a little bit too easy for each team we play just now. I think really we probably need to try and beat that horrible North East team that nobody really wants to come up against, because I know they're going to be in for a hellishly tough battle. But this has been the sort of game so far this season where we have turned up and put in a fairly respectable performance. Obviously, we got a point against them at home. I couldn't make that game because obviously I was still in Florida at the time, or just coming back from Florida. But I'm at this tonight, and there's no way in a million years that I was going to miss this game. This particular ground's been on my radar for quite some time. I think Wembley aside, I'll probably have to say it's probably going to be one of the most impressive grounds that I'll have ever seen Gateshead play in. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And you never know. Fingers crossed we can maybe go out there and upset the apple cart a little bit. But let's head on down to Meadow Lane and find out how it all unfolds. So I know this is a very cliche thing to be doing when you visit Nottingham, but there you see the floodlights for Meadow Lane, which is where we're going tonight. And right here is a Trent, and over there is of course the City Ground, home of Nottingham Forest. Just a bit of perspective there, just at how close those two grounds exactly are to each other. I'm not sure why the floodlights are on there tonight. If anyone knows, maybe let us know. And I don't know if you can see or not, but over there is a floodlight for the Trent Bridge cricket ground. So this part of the world, a bit of a haven for sport, it has to be said. But anyway, let's head on down to there, which is Meadow Lane.
There's Dan. Hello Dan, Arlington.
Alright. So Gateshead are warming up, of course. We're going to be in our away strip tonight. There's no sign of Notts just yet. So Notts getting ready over there. They're going to be in their usual black and white home strip this evening. The ball almost stood still there for it. Like, it was very odd. Well done. Connect. Half time, Notts County 1, Gateshead 0. A little bit gutted to be behind, to be honest, because I think for the most part of that first half we did alright and we were definitely in the game. We're having one or two chances, but again, story of our season, not really testing the keeper all that much. But I've been impressed with Danny Elliott, I must say. I think his reading of the game's been very good. His hold-up play, what have you, has been very good. So So yeah, that could look to be a good bit of business by us there. I think as for Notts, I must say, obviously all the talk going into this game will have been about Langstaff for obvious reasons, but one player that has impressed me for them in that first half was Sam Austin. Also, when we played against him when he was at Kidderminster last season, we had a bit of a system that basically drowned him out of the game. But he's doing really well tonight. I think he's been very creative. Adam Chickson as well. I think he's having a fairly decent game. But I think we need to cut this playing out from the back out of our system because it's way too risky, especially at this level, and especially tonight when we're playing against probably the striker that knows our system better than any of them. But I think Notts need to look to kill this game off as soon as they possibly can because I think the longer it stays at 1-0, the more they may have to adjust their plans a bit and just maybe try to keep Elliott quiet, try to keep Campbell quiet. So we're not out of this game yet by any means.
Mate, if he could have ridden them off by now, he would have done.
Go on, Danny. Go on, Greg. Go on. Oh! Well, lads. What on him? Oh.
4 minutes of added time at the end of this game, and can I just say, our fans have been absolutely unreal in this second half. We might be getting beat, we might not have the biggest fan base in the world, but those that we do have are something quite special. Full-time Notts County 2, Gateshead 0. I think in the end Notts just did what they needed to do on the night. I think it was a very smart second half performance by them. I think maybe they probably should have had a couple more, but they did what they needed to do. They got the 3 points and they've gone 4 points clear at the top of the league. As for us, there is one or two Notts fans on social media saying no, we're dirty and whatever. I mean, I think the cut and dry of it is, I think we maybe do need to be a bit dirty. I mean, because the bottom line is now, as we go into the second half of the season, we have a lot of games that are simply win at all costs, and in order to do that, we are going to have to be a little bit grittier, if you get what I mean. But can't fault our effort or anything like that tonight. I mean, it was always going to be a tall order. They're very formidable on their own grounds. They're top of the league for a reason. They've got a lot of strength in depth, and don't get me wrong, I get why the Notts fans are maybe a little bit frustrated and are saying that maybe they're just doing it out of frustration more than anything, because it's undeniable. Obviously, Chickson went off for them. I think that might have been an injury. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was tactical or whatever. But then Langstaff pulled up in the second half. But if I was a Notts fan, I'd sort of have every reason to trust like the rest of the players sort of in the team. And I know if Langstaff is going to have a bit of a layoff, he will be a big miss. But when you've got the likes of Scott, Rodriguez, Austin, players like that in your team, then you're still good enough to beat absolutely anybody in this division. So yeah, I get why they may be saying things like Gateshead were dirty and stuff like that. But honestly, Notts fans, like, have faith in that team, because you have got some good players in there. I'm telling you now. Just think, obviously, Notts, like, there wasn't like a performance that blew people away, but it was effective, and on the night, I think the scoreline, can't have any complaints about it. As for us, though, as I said, it's probably just one of those where we just have to dust ourselves down and move on. At the end of the day now, we've played Notts twice. Wrexham away is over and done with. Chesterfield away is over and done with. So yeah, and what I was alluding to with we need to just win at all costs. I say that because you look at our fixtures in the second half of the season, how many games we've got at home against some of the other teams in the bottom half of the table, and the bottom line is 2 or 3 4-1 wins isn't going to keep you up, but 5 or 6 1-0s are, like, and if we can go about trying to make the international stadium as difficult a place to go as possible, and get as many home wins as we can, then away from home, maybe sort of see if we can grind out the odds 0-0, 1-1, or maybe even snatch a couple of away wins. Then that's what we need to do. But it's going to be a big second half of the season for us. But given the fact Maidstone lost last night, we haven't lost any ground or anything like that. So it's as you were, and it is a very recoverable situation. It's just about applying the same levels of effort and endeavour, and maybe being a bit smarter tactically. I think, like, you look at some of the goals we conceded, like, a lot of it has come from our own naivety on the ball and things like that. So if we can cut that out, then you never know. I mean, I think from what I saw from us going forward tonight, we didn't really test the keeper all that much, but as I said at half time, really impressed with Danny Elliott. I think his work rate, like the positions he was getting into, surely before long, if he keeps that up, like, better chances will come, and he'll hopefully start taking them, because obviously I don't think he was really getting sort of the rub of the green with sort of time on the pitch at Boreham Wood, but he will get that here. I think his style of play maybe suits our system quite well. But it is what it is, and now we move on to Gloucester in the FA Trophy. Whether that's going to be on Saturday or next Tuesday, I don't know yet, because obviously the weather is going to sort of improve as the week progresses, but Saturday may be a bit too soon for the pitch to realistically thaw out. But Sunday and next Monday are going to be quite mild, so I'd say, like, it should be all systems go for next Tuesday at the very least. Obviously, if the game is postponed on Saturday, it will mean that the Oldham game will have to be once again postponed. But whenever the Gloucester game is, I just think it's one of those against a team from a league below, a team that we could maybe sort of kick while they're down. Obviously, they conceded 6 goals at home at the weekend. Maybe just one of those where I just go, look, let's just go out there and score a few goals. Then if we can do that, get ourselves into the next round of the trophy, hopefully that'll set us up in good stead for the next league game, whether that be Oldham away or the festive doubleheader against York. But yeah, not too disheartened tonight, to be honest with you. I think was happy with the effort levels. And one final thing I must say, I was so proud to be in that away end tonight. Like the fact we just did not shut up for basically all of the second half. Even after it scored, we just carried on singing. Absolutely outstanding from the fans there tonight. I mean, we might not be big on numbers, but in terms of heart and passion, like no one can outdo us on that. But that is that for this video, and I'll be back on Saturday. Could be with a double header, just depends. But regardless, I will be at Newcastle United versus Rayo Vallecano at 12:30, and hopefully Gateshead versus Gloucester City at 3. But if not, we'll definitely have a trip to St James's Park regardless. But until then, take care, and I'll see you later.